There's a guy right now still doing business out there, Grover Norquist. He runs a group for Americans called Americans for Tax Reform. He's been in business. He's a lobbying group. He admitted to laundering money for Ralph Reed. The Indians would write checks to Americans for Tax Reform. Norquist would process them through his organization and just conveniently take like $25,000 out of that amount as a handling fee. Then write a check to Ralph Reed's business down in Georgia, his public relations firm down there. It's still in business. And some of the checks are in the book. There's even, I mean, Norquist admitted to it that he laundered. In fact, I've got emails in there. I've got emails in there from Abramoff to Reed saying Grover kept another $25K.
Right, and Reed was one of, I would assume, Pat Robertson's like top figures in his organization. If he was the executive director of CBN, they must have been quite close.
Well, yeah. Well, Reed was the executive director of the Christian Coalition put in place by Pat. My point is that, in fact, Reed laundered his own money. He started a bogus, and he always used these really cool, flowery Christian-sounding titles. This one was called the Alliance of Christian Ministries.
It sounds like a.
No, I'm sorry. That was another one he started. It was Faith and Family Alliance. Sounds pretty nice, right? You know what it was? It was a P.O. box in Richmond. And Reed hired a guy. This is, if you wrote this in a script, people would say you were just crazy. He hires a guy to monitor the P.O. box who was a graduate of Regent University. The guy was later convicted of internet pornography with children and went to jail for a couple of years. This guy was monitoring the P.O. box, and where these tribes and the people paying Reed would send the money to the checks made out to this bogus organization. This guy would pick up the checks, endorse them, put them in their bank account, sit on them for a few days, and then write corresponding checks to Reed's organization, his lobbying organization down in Georgia. And he was doing stuff that the mafia does. He's laundering his money. And the guy never got subpoenaed. He never got subpoenaed in front of this investigation. The Choctaw tribe, which triggered this whole thing, there was a lady named Nell. I can't remember her last name right now. She was the liaison between the Choctaw tribe and Reed, Abramoff, and Scanlon. She's on record as admitting, and it's in the book, some of her transcript. She agreed with him. She said, we agreed to use money laundering because Ralph Reed said it wouldn't look good for the former head of the Christian Coalition to be seen, helping gambling efforts.
Oh my gosh.
They knew exactly what they were doing. It wasn't by accident. They were laundering money.